Good evening, Cayman. Good evening, Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. When we had that beautiful rain a little while ago, I was thinking to myself, I sure hope we're getting some of that in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Thank you all for coming out tonight, because tonight is the launch of our manifesto. And this manifesto is to help you with the serious choice that you have to make on the 22nd of May. The problems facing the next government are large. The issue of good jobs and the cost of living must be tackled. The current economic situation in Cayman is a direct result of the failed policies of the last 4 years. With rising cost of living and unemployment, I see families struggling every day, and this has to change. The allegations of corruption have undermined confidence in government, and this has to change. Getting our country back on track will be hard work, but the progressives are ready to tackle these challenges head on. The progressives will restore confidence in government so that investors come back to Cayman. We will make sure investors know that the Cayman Islands are open for business. And when they know we're open for business, Caymanians will go back to work. Our manifesto explains how a progressive government will create opportunities for you and your family. You deserve to know how your next government will make decisions. You deserve to know how your next government will govern. The candidates that you see here on this stage tonight are not together by chance. This team is a result of thoughtful and organized effort over many, many months. This team represents a complementary set of skills and experience. This team knows how to work together and get things done. So what I'd like to do is give you a glimpse of how a progressive government will actually work. We understand the two pillars of our economy, our financial services and tourism. Tonight, I'll speak of how we use tourism to benefit the economy of the Cayman Islands. Friends, tourism isn't complicated. Simple facts. When there are fewer tourists, stores sell less, which means they import less, which means government revenues decline. When there are fewer tourists, stores sell less, which means they need less staff, and job opportunities decline. So very simply put, tourists equals jobs. Tourist equals government revenue. Tourists equals less taxes on you because the government has more revenue. And with more revenue, the cost of doing business goes down and the cost of living goes down. Be very clear about it. Tourism is everybody's business because we depend on it in Cayman. But the truth is that each one of us are ambassadors of tourism and must continue to be that on a daily basis. And let us always remember that tourists have a choice of where they visit. We need to give them reasons to come to the Cayman Islands, and we need to make it easy for them to get here. This isn't complicated, but it takes a plan. It takes a comprehensive plan to make sure that all the components are aligned. And I want to give you a very, very simple example that you live every day. The first step of getting tourists to this island is marketing. The Department of Tourism and every hotelier and every accommodation property on this island knows how to market to attract people here. And the government's responsibility is to give them an environment that they'll be successful when they get here. Now let me ask you this. When you've spent your marketing money and you've got them here, and your taxis have done everything they could possibly do, your tour operators have done everything they could possibly do, the restaurants have done everything, the hotels, the airlift, the shops. The government's responsibility of creating the environment is the airport itself, ladies and gentlemen. Do you realize that the money we spend marketing has been lost when you have the experience of trying to get through the airport on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday to get home? It's the absolute last thing that you remember about the Cayman Islands, a bad experience in the airport, and it should never have happened. So, as I say, it's not complicated, but when you think about it, it takes cooperation between the public and private sector to coordinate these things. As I explain it to you, I want to make it very clear that the progressives understand that it's government's job to provide this infrastructure to get the tourists here, and it makes you successful when they come. It makes us all more successful. Infrastructure like a berthing pier for cruise ships and a modern, well-operated airport for stayover visitors is a must. But remember, modernizing our airport and building a cruise ship here is not about spending money. It's about creating opportunity. And the longer we delay these actions, the farther we fall behind. Visitors have a choice of where to go. We have a responsibility to give them more and give them more reasons to come here. There is no better example than the failure to have the cruise berthing facilities in progress and coming online soon. As we watch the cruise vessels go by, heading to Roatan and Falmouth, we are in danger of being left off the cruise line's itineraries because of it, and this will have a huge impact on each one of us here tonight. The progressives will fix this. The progressives will deliver the needed cruise piers, one that does not include new shopping complexes, but instead one that welcomes cruise tourists to revitalize the stores and the center of Georgetown. The progressives are committed to a thriving downtown, a center of cultural and community activity for tourists and locals alike. It is not complicated as you hear and you think about it, but it takes clarity of purpose, and it takes people like you see here on the stage working together to make this happen. The progressives are extremely clear that tourism is not just about creating jobs, it's about creating jobs for Caymanians. The Progressives will provide training for the hospitality industry to equip our people with the necessary skills to be competitive and improve themselves and move up with a hand up, a hand up. We will support Cayman Airways, our national flag carrier, as a tool to bring more tourists to our islands and help diversify our economy. This isn't complicated, but it takes commitment, and you have that from the Progressives. It's not about chasing deals all over the world. It's about looking at the core industries that we have that we need to upgrade and move forward with. It's about our commitment of understanding the bigger picture and developing the plan with our private sector partners, CITA and SITA, and then we delivering on our part of the plan. Because if we don't deliver, the private sector can't be successful in the partnership, and we understand that. And make no mistake about this, the Progressives are committing to doing their part for a thriving tourism industry, an industry that provides good jobs and good opportunities for Caymanians. This industry welcomes tourists in order to grow our government revenues so we can lower the cost of doing business and the cost of living for every resident in our great islands. So this evening, in summary, using tourism, I've given you a glimpse of how a progressive government would work and make their decisions and govern. In the short term, think of what we've just talked about. Tourism infrastructure projects will create jobs. Building the cruise pier and modernizing the airport will immediately put hundreds of Caymanians to work, not give out 300 work permits. In that process, these employed Caymanians will build our ports of entry to welcome tourists to our shores. These are the same tourists that create jobs for many years to come for taxi drivers, hotel operators, restaurant workers, and all of us. In addition, the Progressives will focus more on Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. The focus will be to make them economically sustainable and give opportunity and jobs to the Cayman Brackers and Little Caymanians. We will do this with improved air service and better marketing from the Department of Tourism and working with the stakeholders. We will encourage another hotel to open. We will promote technical and vocational training in Cayman Brac, and we will encourage back office jobs to move there. It's not complicated, it just takes work, and the Progressives are ready. Our last administration, we proved that we know how to build infrastructure, and we left you and delivered results that you could touch. Through open, transparent, best practice, the Progressives will restore confidence that allows us to benefit from private-public partnerships so that these projects can be delivered in a cost-effective manner. In closing, I encourage you to review our manifesto, understand our plans, and only with your help can we deliver on those plans. And I tell you tonight, as I've told you before at a meeting in Georgetown, there are 50-plus candidates running in this election, and you have a challenge ahead of you to choose who you're going to vote for. Georgetown, you have 6 votes. West Bay, you have 4. Bodentown, 4. The BRAC, Little Cayman, 2. But take this advice. When your cousins and when your lifelong friends that you love dearly from your heart come to you and they explain that they're running and they want your vote, but you've seen the manifesto and you listen to the progressives and you know in your head that the way to vote is progressives because of what they can do. Don't feel bad about not voting for your friend. Give them all the love you have in your heart, but give the progressives your vote.